Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom, Michael Bullock. And for the next about month or so, it's going to be just the three of us running things. The Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, is on a leave of absence, but she will be back with us soon enough. So Dee Dee, we hope you're watching, and if you are, we hope you're enjoying, and we're thinking of you, and we miss you, and we can't wait to have you back on with us when you're ready to come back. So, oh man, so show, but it was a newsworthy show. But before we get into all that, a very interesting bit of news that came out today, a little bit of a news and views item, if you will. They made it official today. SummerSlam will not be at the TD Garden in Boston. Heck, it's not going to be in any arena anywhere, because it will be once again at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, come August 23rd. So just wanted to let you all know that, if you didn't know that already. So that was the big item that came out today. Some other things came out, but they're rather personal, and I don't really want to get into personal stuff on here, even though it was good news. So that's really all there is I wanted to address. So but this was a newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw from the Performance Center, as always. So exclusively on the USA Network, and without any further ado, gentlemen, let's dive on in. And we started the festivities this evening with, give me a moment here. As you know, my system's been running very slow lately, so I'm going to try my best to get these up as quickly as possible. So yeah, so we started things off tonight with a very interesting segment here. Of course, stop me if this sounds familiar. We started the show with the WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, and he called out Dolph Ziggler because he wanted to know what Dolph Ziggler's stipulation was going to be for their championship match at Extreme Rules. And Dolph Ziggler, being the obnoxious heel that he is, he said, no, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait like everybody else. But then he brings out a surprise guest. And that surprise guest just happened to be one of Drew McIntyre's old tag team partners, Heath Slater. Yes, Heath Slater. We thought he was fired, but his shirt did say free agent. And it was very interesting to see him on here, considering that on his Twitter account, he teased the date of 7/18, which is July 18th. That also happens to be the day of the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view. And there are rumors going around saying that he has signed with Impact Wrestling and that he'll be reuniting with Rhino. You remember Slater and Rhino, the inaugural SmackDown Tag Team Champions. MF knows that very well from the 2016 Backlash pay-per-view. But nonetheless, wow. Where do I start with this? It was a 2-for-1 because it actually led into a match. Heath Slater against Drew McIntyre. And I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be later in the night. I really didn't think they were going to get right into it. But they did, and Drew McIntyre squashes Heath Slater, I want to say north of a minute. I have to get the time of the fall, but it was relative. It was basically a blink. It was a blink if you missed it. So if you blinked, you missed it. That's what it was, really. But 24 seconds. that was the time on that. So, all right, we're not going to get into the match because, well, hello, it was a squash, so we're not going to address that. Obviously not. But the promo segment, though, wow, great segment. It was so nice to hear from a serious side of Heath Slater because he had been a comedy guy for a long time. Heath Slater has mostly been used as a comedic character in the past, but when he gets the opportunity to deliver a serious promo, he always delivers. It was a little strange for WWE to use a recently released star and someone who's clearly on his way to Impact Wrestling as part of a storyline, but if it was going to be anyone, Heath Slater was the right choice. However, WWE used him as a jobber instead of giving him a chance to shine against the top star in the company before he was able to start working for another promotion. It would have given him a nice boost and would not have hurt McIntyre's momentum one bit. The hug at the end was nice, but if WWE is going to bring in someone it just fired, it should at least let them look good. So that's my only little nitpick, but other than that, the segment was great. The match, well, that was a dud. So that's all there is to say on that. So good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. I mean, now I'm going to be honest with you guys. I knew about this in advance. I saw it in the dirt sheet. Normally, I send the dirt sheet to us in the Wrestling Forum Messenger, but I wanted it to be a surprise to you guys, unless you knew about it beforehand too. But I held off on that. I wanted that surprise factor, if you will. So Ahmed, Heath Slater coming back in, and this is probably a one-off because you and I both know he's on his way to Impact Wrestling to reunite with Rhino. So if this was Heath Slater's last moment in WWE, I mean, what a way for him to go out. That might have been his best promo ever.
Might have been his best promo ever, no doubt about it, and they did a really good job on selling Heath Slater, but it was kind of counterproductive because then in his match against Drew McIntyre, they crushed him in less than a minute, in less than 30 seconds, 24 seconds altogether. So, I mean, yeah, it served its purpose and the whole 9 yards, but remember the key word, free agent. That doesn't necessarily mean he signed with Impact Wrestling. So, I mean, yes, I know the rumors. I've heard of it. But remember what happened to Drake Maverick. Drake got let go, furloughed, and was able to come back to WWE, and he has a great working relationship with WWE. From what I know, Heath Slater has a great working relationship with WWE. That actually, I don't think it was a flat out release. I think he was furloughed. And if that means if he was furloughed, chances are that 718, Anthony, actually could be a smokescreen. Doesn't necessarily mean he goes to Impact Wrestling. That might be the clause in the contract where, because normally there's supposed to be a 90-day clause that you're not supposed to compete for 90 days. Maybe because he did WWE, does that mean he possibly comes back to WWE? That doesn't necessarily mean Impact got him. And yeah, they're going after a lot of guys who got let go by WWE. And there's been talk about that there's going to be a few WWE guys that will be on Impact and more importantly at Slammiversary. Big event. Huge event. Heath Slater might not be one of them after all. You don't know, Florio. I mean, I get it. If he does, that's great. But doesn't necessarily mean yes or no. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, this was a great promo done by Heath Slater, and he was the most. That was really, really good. Nothing more to say. So Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this was definitely one of his best promos that I've seen. I mean, when it comes to yeah, I mean, we've always known him as the campy comedy guy, especially when he was part of the 3MB. But yeah, I mean, if this was the last time we've seen him in WWE, this is a great way for him to go out with this promo. Yeah, I mean, the promo itself was definitely far better than the match that we ended up seeing. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say on that. So let's move on, Florio.
And well, we end up having another promo segment on this edition of Monday Night Raw. Give me a moment here. Slow loading again. So, but I'll tell you what. But before we get into the next segment, speaking of 3MB, or as we used to call him in the day, 3-man dud. You remember the third member, which was Jinder Mahal, and there were plans for WWE to do a title feud between McIntyre and Mahal, but Mahal got hurt again, so that obviously got kiboshed. But it is what it is. But anyways, all right, another 2-for-1 deal. Michael Bullock's favorite girls, his role models. Bailey Dostraps and who knows?
Oh, don't get me started on those two after what I heard this past weekend.
Yeah, don't worry, Bullock. I'm not going to get you. Yeah, but Asuka had a nice rebuttal for that. But you remember the rebuttal I sent you earlier. But anyways, Sasha Banks and Bailey, the women's tag team champions, and Bailey, the SmackDown Women's Champion, they do another one of their obnoxious heel promos, and it leads in, and then Asuka comes out, and Asuka says, "I'm not alone. I got backup of my own." It was her tag team partner in the Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane. Boy, did WWE do a great job with this. I mean, they removed her from advertising, and they managed to pull a surprise factor on this. We were not expecting Kairi Sane. We thought she might have been done, but no, Kairi Sane is back and better than ever. And we had a first time ever one-on-one match. Sasha Banks versus Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane wins the match. However, it was via a disqualification, 13 minutes and 20 seconds. MF, I mean, yes, the match ended in a DQ, which was kind of to be expected, but Kairi and Sasha, their first time ever, I mean, before the DQ, that thing was getting really, really good.
It was a heck of a fight. It was a heck of a match before the match got thrown out. But look, give all the credit where credit's due to Kairi. Kairi really brought it to the table. She really did amazing in this matchup, and it was a little bit of a disappointment that the match ended the way it did. But I get it. I get why the match ended. I get why you want to make Sasha, you want to make her strong enough where she doesn't take out a flat loss here. So yes, the interference does happen, but look, it also gives you the benefit of the doubt. You feel really good, because Kairi looked really good. There has been some rumors about Kairi, basically saying that this could be it for her. She might go at least one more year. She does have a hubby, and she wants to start a family, and so Kairi might continue at least one more year. That's what they're saying. Now, they don't know if that's going to be in the United States. They don't know if that's going to be in Japan. But it's good to have Kairi back. I'm happy that she came back. I was shocked. I thought we seen the last of Kairi Sane. I honestly thought that this was it. I thought that Kairi wasn't coming back. I thought she was going to retire now. And it would have been a damn shame because she is a very athletic, unique individual. I think what she's brought to the table has been amazing. She definitely, I think this was her best outing since coming to the main roster. Honest to goodness, I think we had some very great moments for her when she was in NXT. I think tonight was really a breakout moment for her on the main roster. And yeah, prior to the stoppage, I was going as far as 3.5 stars. I mean, it was a really well wrestled match. It was a little bit of a disappointment that it ended that way, but 3.5 stars for me. And yeah, I really liked the fact that she got the big win here, and we're just gonna have to move right on along. So there's really nothing more to add. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you, 3.5 stars for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good to see Kyrie Sane back. I mean, yeah, I did hear those same rumors as well. I mean, that it looked like that she was going to be done with WWE, but it's so good to see her back. And yeah, I mean, this was going to be a damn good match. Unfortunately, until that DQ ending. So I'm going to give it about maybe. I was going to give it 3.5 stars, but because of the DQ finish, I'm going to lower just a little bit to 3.25. Just because of the DQ finish here. So there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
I would have to say second best fight of the night on this one. Um, but I am going to, with all due respect, Michael Bullock, I'm going to agree with MF on this rating. I got to give it 3.5 stars. The match was, it was even with the DQ finish, it was just too good. I mean, the outing was tremendous. I mean, great to see Kyrie back. I mean, we all thought she was done, but no. It's always great to see Kyrie Sane, especially after she has been off of television for the past several weeks. She didn't look like she missed the day with how well she performed. This was a competitive bout that allowed both women to shine. WWE gave them a lot of time and they used it wisely. Now, this is where I have to be one of those times where I have to be brutally honest. And I know Michael Bullock's not going to like what I'm about to say, but I got to be honest here. This is just me as a professional here. The boss, Sasha Banks, continues to be one of the brightest spots in the women's division. She's great in the ring and one of the best on the mic. And she was able to show off both sets of skills tonight. And, of course, it set up our big main event for later in the show. And if you thought this match was good, wait till you hear what we have to say about Bayley and Asuka. Ooh. And then from there, here's someone else we haven't seen in a while. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, he came back. It was the return of the KO show. His guest, of course, someone who he knows very, very well, Seth Rollins. Of course, he wasn't alone. He had Murphy with him. And what had happened before before anything else, Aleister Black was taken out. Aleister Black was attacked by Rollins and Murphy in the backstage area, and they had her, and he was left laying in a Rey Mysterio mask. And Mysterio comes out, and Kevin Owens was like, "Hey, Aleister got taken out. How can I be your partner?" And Mysterio said yes. So it was originally supposed to be Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black against Seth Rollins and Murphy, but it was changed to Mysterio and Owens versus Rollins and Murphy. And when all was said and done here, I'm just trying to. And there was also another and there was a caveat here, and here's where the news was in. Whoever won the match, it was announced that Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio will finally battle at Extreme Rules, or the horror show at Extreme Rules. And the winning team, whichever team won, that would allow that individual to choose the stipulation. So when all was said and done, the winners of the match, unfortunately, I do not have a time of the fall. I know that's not going to help matters, but But it was Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio scored the winning fall on Murphy. So, but Rey Mysterio, now I heard rumors about this, and well, it's true. Rey Mysterio called for an eye for an eye. He said he wanted to poke Rollins' eye out with his bare hands, and Mysterio said that's what he calls a sacrifice. Oh my. Oh my. Michael Bullock, I mean, everything about this was great, but an eye for an eye, let me tell you, folks. You know why they call it Extreme Rules? You know why they're calling it the horror show? It's not because of that swamp fight with Wyatt and Strowman. Oh no.
This is why.
Reason. Yeah, this is the real reason why why they're calling it the horror show. An eye for an eye. Disclaimer, folks. Here's a disclaimer for you. Parental discretion will strongly be advised. Bullock, your thoughts on all this?
Man, I really don't know what to say about it, except I'll tell you, if you're gonna watch this this pay-per-view, this WWE Network special, all I can say is, and Florio, I don't know how you gotta feel about it. I mean, if you're gonna have your kids watch it, don't have them watch this match. I mean, it's not because it's gonna be bad, but it's just it's the outcome that really it's gonna leave everybody cringing. Because I shudder to think what would happen if what happens does happen. So yeah, so I just can't imagine like seeing somebody's eye getting their eye pulled out. Now, as far as the match, I mean, it was a good match, no doubt about it. And I got the time here, Florio, from the 411 Mania. It does say 11 minutes and 34 seconds. That's what I'm reading. I don't know where Fletcher is seeing his. So yeah, I'm gonna give this about maybe 3.25 as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, there's really nothing more that really needs to be said. So Florio, I don't know how you're gonna feel.
Yeah, there's a lot to make sense of out of this. You're absolutely right, Bullock. Now I'll be honest with you, Michael Bullock and I, we did not have our Raw chat this evening, but if we did, I mean, I don't know what we would have made of it if we did. But Bullock, mute your mic. Yeah, you're still your mic's still on. But anyways, 11:34. Yeah, that's about right. I'll give it about 3 to 3.25 stars for the rating as well. I definitely agree with that. Hold on a minute here. Okay. Anyways, but let's not forget there was the promo segment before the match as well. So really all there is to say. All right, let me see. Once again, bear with me. Slowness here. I mean, seeing KO and Rollins, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the first time those two were in the same ring since Mania. And all right, here we are. Owens and Rollins are great together, and this segment was a good continuation of their WrestleMania feud without fully restarting the feud. The only thing that didn't really work was Rollins thinking he could recruit Kevin Owens. He should be smart enough to know KO would never accept. The match that followed was good, if a little predictable. The moment Rollins attacked Dominic is what helped it become more than just another random encounter between rivals. It made this feel more personal. Winning gave Mysterio the choice of stipulations for his match against Rollins at the horror show at Extreme Rules. He chose an eye for an eye match. We just don't know exactly what that is, but if it's any indication, you would have to imagine that this is very likely going to be one of the most graphic and gruesome matches, if not the most graphic and gruesome match in the history of the PG era. So definitely a lot to think about, a lot to make sense of. Hopefully next week with next week being the go home show, hopefully we'll get the details in full of what this eye for an eye match is. But if it's anything, if it's what we think it is, oh boy, parental discretion will strongly be advised, at least for that bout. So that would pretty much be our Raw's answer to SmackDown's Swamp match with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. So that's really all there is to say on this. 3 to 3 1/4 stars for the match. Segment was very good. So nothing more to say. MF, eye for an eye. Oh my, they're really going there.
They could, and it kind of really depends on how it plays out. But yeah, it's very possible. So, we're just gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be an interesting battle, to say the very least. It can go one way or the other. It could go that it kind of really depends on how this plays out. But this is gonna be a very interesting match. So we'll just have to wait and see. And nothing more to add. Looks like we got Michael Bullock back. So I believe he start it, Anthony, or
Yes. Yes.
All right. So then we'll just move right along to the next segment.
Yeah. Yep. He started. So yep. All right. So with that being said, let's continue on here. I will get into the next moment here. Let me see. All right. Okay. Now here is now we're gonna get into the next big newsworthy moment. Well, and this was the theme this evening: 2-for-1 segments, and here's yet another one. We had MVP and Bobby Lashley. They come into the ring, and you noticed they had a pedestal with something on it under a sheet. When you see something like that, you know what that means. It's a championship belt. And yes, this was another one of the big stories that came out today. It was a very newsworthy day around the world of professional wrestling, especially in the WWE, with the SummerSlam announcement and Sarah Logan's big announcement and this. A brand new United States Heavyweight Championship belt was rumored to be unveiled, and MVP unveiled it. And well, very interesting look when it comes to that. But it was interrupted by Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. And before you knew it, we didn't need Teddy Long for this, but we had ourselves a tag team match, player. Bobby Lashley and MVP squaring off against Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Bobby Lashley and MVP, they win the match. 6 minutes and 45 seconds, the time of the fall. And, well, now I'm going to be honest here. I'm gonna try my best, but but considering with my slow moving system, I'm hoping that one of you guys can get the image of the new belt. But then again, I don't know if I would be risking any infractions, and I don't want to, you know. But if you saw the belt, if you saw the brand new United States Heavyweight Championship belt, I mean, they said it was going to have something about a classic, more prestigious feel to it. I mean, the belt that Apollo Crews holds now has been in use since Stephanie McMahon brought it to SmackDown back in 2003, when the late great Eddie Guerrero was the inaugural champion when he won that tournament in the final match. But anyways, interesting look for the belt. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best design, but I'm saying, it's got an interesting look. I mean, a little more blinged out, but I'll give it a whirl. I'll give it a chance. So really all I can say on that. The match was 2.5 stars. That's I think the best we can go. The new U.S. title definitely has a different look than the previous belt. Whether that is a good thing or not will depend how you personally feel about both designs. The match that followed was relatively tame. Lashley and MVP dominating the majority of the action was not surprising at all. Ricochet and Alexander have been waiting for a chance to shine, but this was not it. So I could probably give this about 2 to 2.5 stars. I would probably say this was the second worst fight of the night. There was only one match that was actually worse. So 2 to 2.5, I think that's the best we can give this. So nothing more to say. MF, your thoughts about the new U.S. title belt and the tag match, if you want. I mean, it's optional. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, I won't talk about the tag fight, but I will say this. That is a very nice United States Heavyweight title. I really like it. I had no problems with the Intercontinental when they revealed that. I thought that was very nice looking. I kind of feel like this has an opportunity to bring some prestige and honor. I mean, it's a nice looking belt. It's a little reminiscent, not much reminiscent, but it is a little reminiscent of the old. It has like the shape or the size of the old school WCW United States Heavyweight title, which is really nice. I love the leathering on the belt because it's black leathering. The belt shines out, especially that champion. It really shines. I think it really emphasizes as a champion. I think that's a wicked nice belt. So no, I really like what they did. I really like how the design of it looks. It's a nice title. It's a nice championship. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it comes in the near future. Future champions who holds it and everything else. Obviously, it's got the side plating on both ends, which is kind of become the norm in WWE with the side plates. But no, this was a nice looking title. I thought they did a really nice job with the belt, and even the fans on social media has said that the belt looks really good. So thumbs up for me. I really like it. Nothing more to say, Mike Bullock. It's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up as well with the title. I mean, I thought it looks really good. I mean, yeah, maybe it'll help bring some prestige back to it. But I mean, here's the thing that I'm wondering, guys, and I don't know if I'm surprised you guys didn't touch up on it. I mean, why did MVP and Bobby Lashley reveal the title when really the United States champion is still Apollo Crews? That's the thing that I'm left puzzled.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you have your United States champion be the one to reveal the new look title?
Well, I guess they're having him sell the beatdown that Lashley gave him. I think they're having him sell right now, but at Extreme Rules, MVP and Apollo Crews will battle for the United States Heavyweight Championship. So I wouldn't be surprised if they hold Crews off until then, if not next week.
All right. Well, I mean, that's the only thing that I was just so confused about. So, but other than that, that title looks really good, and yeah, yeah. And as far as the match goes, I'll actually talk about it. I mean, it wasn't anything that special. I mean, I do agree. I'll give it about maybe 1.5 to 2. That's all I'll say on it. So it's yours, Florio.
Fair enough. And we continue on. And then we had a 6-man tag team matchup. Randy Orton, Andrade, and Angel Garza squaring off against the Big Show and the Viking Raiders. When all was said and done, the winners of the match, 13 minutes and 40 seconds, Randy Orton, Andrade, Angel Garza. And how was this match won? Well, very simply, the 3 most destructive letters in all of WWE. RKO, out of nowhere. And it's only fitting that the biggest Randy Orton mark out of all of us, good old MF Michael Fletcher, starts this off here. MF, your man, vintage Randy Orton wins it for his team with an RKO out of nowhere.
What, are you there?
I didn't see anything indicating that he was stepping away or.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
No, unless he forgot to.
Do you want me to take it? Do you want me to take it for a spin?
Yeah, I mean, unless MF comes back in out of nowhere, which I don't. I'm not sure he will. So I don't see anything indicating it. But yeah, for the moment, Michael Bullock, we'll have you start off here. 13 minutes 40 seconds, the time of the fall. Orton, Andrade, and Garza win the 6-man tag. Orton wins at RKO out of nowhere. How about it?
Yeah, I think what I'll do for you is I'll start it off, and then if I'll try to toss it to Fletch, and if he doesn't come back, I'll just give it to you. So, all right. As far as the match goes, I mean, this was another good match here. I'll give it about maybe 3.5 stars. I mean, this was a good match here, and Randy Orton, like you said, he got it done once again with the 3 most destructive words, the RKO. And yeah, I mean, obviously the Big Show, I mean, didn't get a chance to get his hands on him, but somewhere down the line, these 2 are going to be bound to face each other. So could be an Extreme Rules. So we'll just have to wait and see on it. So I really got nothing more to say. So I don't know if Fletch is back. Are you there, Fletch? I guess not. So I'm just going to toss it to you, Florio.
Yeah. 3.25, 3.5 stars. That's about right when it comes to the rating of this bout. First half of the match was a standard 6-man bout, but as soon as Orton pulled Garza out of the ring to berate him, it became a lot more interesting. The Viper serving as a mentor is not a new idea. We saw him lead Legacy with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, but this is different. He is not trying to be a leader, but has been somewhat thrust into that position. Ric Flair's recent interest in Garza and Andrade helps explain why Orton may be interested in them too. The match may not have been anything special, but the prospect of a new stable led by Randy Orton is intriguing. Although you remember last year, we thought we were going to see Legacy 2.0 with Randy Orton and the tag team now known as FTR in AEW. And Orton went to bat for those guys. He really did. Say what you want about him, but he went to bat for those guys. But unfortunately, not even Orton's influence was enough to save them. And of course, now, as you all know, they're now in AEW, and they're going to be involved in a huge 8-man tag team match this Wednesday night as part of Night 2 of Fyter Fest, when they team up with the Young Bucks to square off against the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade. But we'll address that on Wednesday Night Mayhem with MF. But nonetheless, solid match. It started slow, but then it got better as it went along, especially after Orton berated Garza. My God, man, he tore him a new one. That's exactly what I would do, and I know damn sure that's what MF would do, considering how competitive both of us are.
And that's why we always say never get on Orton's bad side, because you're not going to like it when you get on Orton's bad side.
Yeah, and I know MF will wholeheartedly agree when we get to him, but nonetheless, I'm actually going to bump it down a little bit. I'm actually going to give it about 3 to 3.25 stars. I would probably say this was the third best fight of the night, but yeah, solid action throughout. Like I said, slow start, but then it picked up as it went along, especially after Orton jumped on Garza, which was awesome. It was pretty cool to see that. So, nothing more to say here. MF, are you back in? If so, we'll okay, there he is. All right, MF. We were going to have you lead off, but obviously you had to step away for a moment. No worries. So your man did it again. Vintage Randy Orton, RKO out of nowhere in this 6-man tag win.
Yeah, no, this was, like you said, classic Randy Orton out of nowhere, and it was solid. It was good. About 2.5 stars, and no, nothing else to add. So yeah, we'll just move right along. So Anthony, let's move on.
All righty. We'll reset the rotation here. Well, for the first time tonight, we actually have a cutout here. Ruby Riott squaring off against Billie Kay. Billie Kay won the match 2.5 minutes. Logical outcome, given that they seem to be building to Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott reuniting as the Riott Squad to go up against the Iconics, which could be interesting. So we'll wait and see on that. And we have a huge match announced for the go-home edition of Raw next week. Sasha Banks and Bayley will defend their women's tag team championships against the challengers and former champions in their own right, the Kabuki Warriors. Sasha Banks accepted the match on behalf of her and Bayley. And you notice Bayley wasn't all that happy at first, but Sasha hyped her up, and that was in a backstage segment with the beautiful Charlie Caruso. And what's going on with all these SmackDown people all of a sudden? I mean, first Bayley and Sasha, now you got Nikki Cross. You got her running around. You got her at the announce table there. Okay. Obviously, storyline progression, because Nikki Cross will be challenging Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. So, and she would definitely have her say in this matchup. A good old-fashioned Raw versus SmackDown matchup. Raw Women's Champion Asuka with her partner Kairi Sane in her corner, squaring off against the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley with her partner Sasha Banks. This was the main event of the evening. Winner of the match in 23 minutes and 25 seconds. Score one. Well, in the immortal words of the great Scott Hall, survey says one more for the good guys. That's right. Asuka wins the match, 23 minutes, 25 seconds, defending her home turf. There's no doubt about it. This was the fight of the night. I would say this was the second best women's match on Raw in 2020. We all know what the other one was. The 5-star classic that almost was when Asuka went up against Charlotte Flair some time ago. But 4.25 to 4.5 stars. I mean, I could even you could even make an argument that this ranks right up there with the fantastic match these two had at NXT Takeover Dallas back in 2016 when Asuka took the NXT Women's Championship from Bayley after she put Bayley to sleep, but didn't quite do that here. It took a unique pinning combination to get it done, but nonetheless, though, I mean, say what you want about Bayley, but she can go. That's all there is to say on that. And in this match here, these women know each other well, and they use that chemistry to put on an entertaining and competitive main event. You cannot ask for much more than that. Nikki Cross was a hilarious addition to the first part of the bout, and the security guards who removed her should be considered heels, taking her away from us. But Sasha and Kairi played their supporting roles at ringside like good partners without distracting from the action in the ring. The action was great. The storyline progressed. Cross is becoming a breakout star in 2020. And this was a fantastic way to end the show here. And that's really all there is to say. Well worked bout. And to me, this was the second best women's match on Monday Night Raw in this calendar year, only behind the almost 5-star we saw with Charlotte and Asuka some time ago. But man, that was great. 4.25, 4.5 stars. And, you know, there's really nothing left for me to say except, sorry, MF, not this time. One more for the good guys. Raw picks up the win here tonight. Asuka, 23 minutes, 25 seconds. In your immortal words, MF, what a match. This was something else.
This was the fight of the night. 4.5 stars for me. This was an excellent matchup. You can't go any more than what you saw, and this was an incredible match. And yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So yeah, like you said, this was about a 4.25 star, a 4.5 star match. Great outcome. And yeah, I got nothing more to add. So yeah, it's all yours. So Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 4.5 stars. Definitely the fight of the night, hands down. I mean, these two certainly put on a very good match. Like you said, this was definitely the second best women's match on Monday Night Raw, only behind the almost 5-star with Asuka and Charlotte Flair. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to add. So Florio, it is yours.
All right. Our final thoughts on this edition of Monday Night Raw. So, MF, your thoughts on this solid and somewhat newsworthy edition of Raw this evening? MF? Oh, maybe he stepped away again. Michael Bullock, yeah, your final thoughts on this solid and newsworthy show tonight.
Well, it was somewhat of a 50-50 edition of Monday Night Raw. I mean, there were some parts that were good, some parts were not so good. So definitely continuing to build momentum towards Extreme Rules next Sunday. So there's really nothing more to add. So Florio, I give it to you. Florio?
Slow moving system, you know that. But anyways,
Got Fletch now.
Yeah. Matt, did you want to take it for a spin, or do you want me to go?
I mean, are we talking overall review now?
Yeah, final thought.
I mean, it was all right. It was a decent show. I mean, like you said, it wasn't the perfect show, but I mean, it was solid enough. It could have been better, but it was very newsworthy, and there's really nothing more to add. So yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Um, overall, this was a solid episode in terms of filling the time. The matches and segments felt like they each served a purpose beyond just passing the time. We only had one really bad match on this show. Asuka and Bayley. Wow. That definitely ranks right up there, like I said, with the great bout they had at TakeOver Dallas. I mean, just fantastic. So I don't know what else there is to say. I'll get back to you as far as the overall rating is concerned, but yeah. Yep, that's really all there is to really say here. So so with that being said, just give me a moment here, and we'll let you know. We'll let you know. I'll get into my Tony's take in just a moment. So bear with me for a moment here. I got things coming up here. So so all right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, the AV this keeps coming up here. All right. I do apologize for the dead air spots here. Very slow moving system on my end. So so with that being said, let's get into my Tony's take, and the newsworthiness keeps coming. So because there's well, it's not over the top news, but there is a programming note that I will need to address in just a moment. So let's get into Impact Wrestling from last week, and we started it off with Chris Bay going one-on-one with Suicide, and it was Chris Bay winning the match, 8 minutes 51 seconds, 2.5-star bout, good opening bout to get things kicked off. I questioned the length and the need for Johnny Swinger's involvement. Did Suicide really need to be protected there? But all in all, it was a solid bout, and I won't complain too much. Reno Scum against TJP and Falaba. TJP, Falaba win the bout, 4 minutes, 52 seconds, 2.25 stars. It was exactly what it needed to be. Fast-paced and chaotic without spending too much time. TJP and Falaba looked good in the win. That's all I was hoping for, because I'm very high on those two. Then we had an in-ring segment. The World Tag Team Champions, the North, interrupted by Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. And then in a backstage segment with Impact Wrestling Management, Scott D'Amore, he announces that at Slammiversary, the North will defend the World Tag Team Championship against the unlikely tag team of Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. Oh my, that's got potential there. And then from there, another quote-unquote TNA World Heavyweight title match, Crazy Steve challenging Moose. Moose wins the bout in 8 minutes and 14 seconds. 2.5 stars, good in-ring action. The match went on a bit too long. I know they're trying to put over Steve's toughness, but it made the match drag toward the middle. All in all, though, solid effort. That's all I can ask. Tommy Dreamer cuts a fantastic promo on Moose, so it looks like we could be seeing a Dreamer and Moose feud down the road. Kiera Hogan went up against Jessica Havoc. Kiera Hogan wins the match, 5 minutes, 53 seconds, 2-star bout, fine for what it was. I don't know why Nevaeh didn't bother to do anything when the foreign object came into play. but otherwise it was okay for the time given. And then from there, Trey Miguel went up against Madman Fulton in the main event. Madman Fulton won the match 8 minutes and 14 seconds via disqualification. This was the fight of the night, 3 3/4 of a star. Very good big man, little man match. The ending was not my favorite, but it played into the storyline and made Trey look really good as the show closed, which was exactly what it needed to do. Good work from all involved. 8 out of 10. Major step up from the previous week with good in-ring action, focused storylines, providing narrative momentum as they head towards Slammiversary. There is still a lot of work to do developing some of these feuds, but you can see where all the main storylines are, and none of them look bad. Take some very good matches, a fired-up Tommy Dreamer promo, and whatnot, and that was a good, solid edition of Impact Wrestling. So, as far as the programming note, tomorrow night, Impact Wrestling is going to be starting 1 hour later. It's going to be pushed back to 9 p.m. tomorrow night for 1 week only, because they're doing a big birthday celebration for the legendary Ringo Starr. Huge birthday bash, and that's going to be on at 8 o'clock, and that's why Impact Wrestling is going to be pushed back to 9. So Sami Callihan will go one-on-one with one half of the North, Josh Alexander. Jordan Grace. Oh, MF, you're going to love this matchup. It's a non-title match, but I think you're going to like this. The Knockouts champion, Jordan Grace, is going to go one-on-one with your girl, Princess Kimber Lee. So, I know you're going to enjoy that. Also in Knockouts action, tag team action, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie will square off against Kylie Ray and Susie. TJP, Falaba, and Triple XL, they're going to team up against Reno Scum and the Deaners. Well, actually, no, this is a four-way match. TJP Falaba versus Triple XL versus Reno Scum versus the Deaners. Madison Rayne is teasing on her Locker Room Talk show the most iconic knockout in history. And that's really all I know. So remember, special start time, 9 p.m. Eastern, over on Access TV because of the big Ringo Starr celebration. So and I'm pretty sure that goes for MF and the Twitchers out there. So make a note of that. 9 p.m. tomorrow night.
And most notably on Twitch, the Twitch is normally hosted by Melissa Santos. So Melissa Santos, formerly of Lucha Underground, is the host that does all the coverage for Twitch. So when they are on commercial, you get to see that beautiful baby girl on Twitch.
Yep, and of course it's well documented. MF has always had a thing for that one, and I know you get the goosies every time you see that one.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do. So, yep, and I'm trying to. All right, 205 Live. We had Isaiah Swerve Scott against Matt Martell. Isaiah Swerve Scott won the match via disqualification. And then we had Everrise against Neeson Scott. Neeson Scott win that match. But just trying to find it here. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, so but interesting, very interesting aspect there, considering that Isaiah Swerve Scott and Tony Nese have been at each other's throats for quite some time on 205 Live, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what to make of this. All right, here we go. We got it now. Swerve Scott against Martell. Swerve Scott, 3 minutes, 20 seconds, no rating. Not really a match, just a way to get us to the tag match. And then Swerve Scott and Tony Nese against Everrise. Nese and Scott win 6 minutes, 39 seconds, 2.25 stars. It was fine, but who was going to win was in little doubt. I guess 205 Live needed partners who don't like each other, but it continues the story of Nese and Scott, so we'll see what happens. Leon Ruff and Liam Gray against Legado del Fantasma, which is Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. Legado del Fantasma, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. It needed to be a squash, and that's what we got. A nice tag debut. 6 out of 10. Not much as far as great wrestling last week, but it was a solidly average show. I've enjoyed the Nese and Swerve feud, and it adds another layer as we don't know what Nese is up to at this point. Main event was a squash, but it needed to be basically an enhancement show to get some new faces over and add layers to an ongoing story. It's still a quick and easy watch, though. So that was a 6 out of 10. So I believe that's all I have. So before MF sets the table, I'm going to set the table for next week's edition of Ridiculously Raw. It's a big show next week. It's going to be the Go Home show. We'll be reviewing the Monday Night Raw edition of Extreme Rules, my Tony's take on Impact Wrestling and 205 Live, and as a special treat for all of you viewers out there, I'm going to be giving you my predictions for Slammiversary. I'm not only going to run down the final Slammiversary card, but I'm also going to give you my predictions on that. And then the following week, on July 20th, on this very program, the night after Extreme Rules, a very special Tony's Take, as I will have my review of Slammiversary, because I found a great site. I'm going to try to go for it on the Fight TV, and knock on wood, hopefully everything will hold up and work, and if so, then I can enjoy the show, and then I can give you my findings on that in 2 weeks. So I just wanted to share those couple of programming notes with you. So all right, so that's all I have. That'll put the ball on this newsworthy edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. You thought tonight was newsworthy. Wait till Wednesday, because Fyter Fest Night 2 and NXT was maybe the most anticipated main event that NXT has had in some time.
It is one of the most highly anticipated matches in NXT history. Title for title, winner take all. It don't get no bigger than Keith Lee versus Adam Cole for both the North American and the NXT World titles. And then on Fyter Fest Night 2, we were expecting, we all thought at the time that it was going to be for the world title, and then all of a sudden it's not. The world title has been bumped off, and we're gonna have to wait another week before we can see that at Fight for the Fallen, which is now a new special that AEW is gonna do. But we still have a great tag team title match, and we also got a highly anticipated match between Chris Jericho and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy 1-on-1. So Wednesday night, 10:30 Eastern, we're going to cover it all right here on BrazeFan95 on YouTube.com. Nothing more to say, Anthony. It's all yours.
All right, MF. So that'll be 10:30 Wednesday night. The big Wednesday Night Mayhem, Fyter Fest Night 2, and NXT Night 2, Great American Bash. Myself, MF, Michael Bullock, will all be with you for that show come Wednesday night. And then Friday night, of course, we got Cerebral Smack Talk, also with MF. Yes, we will be back. We did not have a show this past Friday night. MF was nice enough to give us the night off because of the holiday weekend. Very much appreciated. And but we will be back on Friday nights. So we can guarantee you that. And then we'll do it all again. We'll do this all again next week. So the next couple of weeks on this program, Ridiculously Raw, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to share all that Slammiversary stuff with you. But anyways, that'll do it for this. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem with MF over on BrazeFan95, this is your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson, we're thinking of you. We hope when you come back, you'll be better than ever. And of course, always and forever, Derek Ferrera, the man who put this all together in the first place. So until then, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem over on Braves Fan 95, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on Zone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.